What it do, guys? It is your boy, Leon Mookie here, back with you with another new fanfic for you guys, and this one is the first of many. I've been putting this off for so long since I started this channel, but I've always wanted to do fanfics like this one, to be honest. So now, hopefully, I can do a story like this with justice. This is From Deku to Trainer, a Vigilante Deku crossover with that of Pokemon. Yep, it's time. Finally time to start this series. I have been struggling with that of Vigilante Deku stories for a while now because there are so many concepts I want to do, but I guess Pokemon is a good start for that. And this would be the first of many Vigilante Deku stories I'm going to do, so look forward to that, guys. Also, heads up, I'm not going to try and make this a long chapter, just a introduction to that of the series after all. So yeah, at any rate, with all that said, let's get into this, shall we, guys? Chapter 0, The Missing Deku. In this world, in many lands, lies that of a world filled with mysterious, powerful, and majestic creatures. These creatures are known as Pokémon, as they are part of the world's nature, with many creating and also balancing nature itself, from even that of Pokemon that are known as legendaries, mythical, and so many more. There are even alternate dimensions, realities, and even the distant past and far future, where Pokemon continue to expand and grow. However, this is not the world that we will be spending most of our time in. Instead, there is another world that basically splits between the world of Pokemon and another world. This is a world where human beings gain that of unique abilities close and similar to that of Pokemon. They would evolve, develop, and grow these abilities. These abilities would be known as Quirks. Almost that of 80% of the human population would have Quirks. These quirks range from types known as emitter, transformable, and mutation, making the unordinary the ordinary. However, as the years went on, those without quirks would be known as the unordinary, the weak, the pathetic, the useless, the quirkless. As this story follows the tales of one quirkless boy and how he ended up into one world and came back to his original world as a whole different person, a trainer, a champion, a master, a hero. The current year is 2075. As humanity developed quirks, technology began to stagnate. Some advancements in technology were shown, however, they were only made to advance and develop quirks. Anything going beyond that, such as improving that of lifestyle, developing technology and weapons, or even that of trying to go beyond that of space, like before, as humans always wanted to develop, is now completely, utterly pointless. As a new profession and a new career was created from quirks, that being pro heroes. As every child growing up always wanted to be a hero, including the boy as we see now, a boy wearing that of a junior high uniform with spiky ashen blonde hair, crimson red eyes, and always having an eternal pissed off look on his face, or that's an eternal arrogant face. But right now, he having that of just an annoyed face from the usual two of his default looks. This being Katsuki Bakugo, hotshot rising star of Aldera Junior High, mainly because of his prized quirk, explosions, turning his sweat into a substance similar to that of nitroglycerin, creating that of explosions. Basically, the more the bastard sweats, the more powerful his explosions are. However, his quirk only activates through that of the palms of his hands, He's unable to use his explosions through any other limbs of his body, unfortunately. Or fortunately, depends on who you ask. As he's currently walking to his junior high school, as it's been 5 months since the incident that somewhat changed his life, but not changed, major parts of his life. That being his former childhood friend turned punching bag and victim, Izuku Midoriya, went missing, all in the name of trying to save him and their idol that they grew up admiring all those years, All Might. As Bakugo goes through that as a flashback, back then, on their first day back at Aldera, as they are now third years, with their teacher trying to amp up and basically cheer up everybody to go for that of the career to becoming pro heroes as always. However, Bakugo, the top dog that he believes himself to be, and everybody always put him on to be, it brings up the fact that he plans on becoming the number one hero, that he applies to UA and going to surpass his idol and become the richest and most famous hero of all time. However, his former childhood friend, Izuku Midoriya, or as he likes to call him, Useless Deku, is also applying for UA. He's aware of the stupid rule that quirkless people can now apply for not just the general studies or any other course, but also that of the hero course. He always keeps up to date with everything that involves around the school that he plans on to attend. At first, he believes it was nothing but a PR stunt, which of course it was. But now knowing that his punching bag, the very person that he always wanted to put down for trying to become a hero, the one person that always stood back up and always tried to achieve such a stupid dream, even though he's quirkless, continues to try and aim for it. Which, even if Bakugo will never admit it, even though he knows it himself, continues to hurt his fragile ego, that somebody as weak as him is still trying to be a hero, thinking the fact that if he also tried to become a hero while quirkless, it would also cause him, Bakugo, hating to admit it, would have dropped it soon after. He would have been angry and pissed off at the world, but he would have accepted it, knowing that if he didn't have a quirk, he would have never been a hero, never even would have tried to achieve to become a hero. But Izuku, on the other hand, Izuku was everything that he despised, everything that he hated, that somebody without power thinks he can become a hero and yet he continues to try and dream for it, something that he knows he can never do himself. So ever since then, when finding out that he was quirkless, when he tried to help him, tried to continue being his friend, all he has done is bully him, belittle him, treat him like shit, even make other people belittle and treat Izuku like shit as well. Not even the teachers do anything about it, which inflates his ego to the point that he's free to do whatever the hell he wants to anyone he wants, especially Izuku. When finding out this, Bakugo has done nothing but belittle him, treating him like shit, even telling him that even the worthless extras that he calls his classmates have more of a chance of becoming a hero than worthless, quirkless, and pathetic Izuku, as he always said. Even to the point that he even said one thing that part of him regrets saying, but would never admit that he regrets saying it at all. Telling him to take a swan dive off the roof and hope for in his next life that he gains a quirk. Leaving with that of his extra lackeys, of course, with it head as they just hang around in that of alleyways, leaving that of school. However, they were soon caught by that of a villain in the alleyway as his two lackeys basically ran off and abandoned him. The sludge villain took him. The sludge villain basically tried to take over his body and used him as a distraction as well. As many of the extra pros that couldn't do anything. Hell, even somebody like me that was destined to be the best and the strongest, who was always considered to be number one in the future, couldn't do anything. It sickened me. I hated it. Until At that one moment of weakness, I saw Deku running in to try and save me. Even used his damn backpack to even blind the villain, giving me a chance to breathe. I even asked Deku what the hell was he even doing. Within, the nerd even just said that he didn't know, that he started moving without thinking, and all he said to me, with that same whiny ass look, with tears out of his eyes as always, saying that he couldn't just leave me to die. When I heard that, part of me actually felt happy, but the other part of me, the part of me that will never admit any of that will never admit weakness, hated him, despised him, thinking that he was looking down on me as always. The quirkless nerd who always tried to achieve the same dream as me even though he had nothing, still looking down on me. And then, soon All Might showed up. He ended up saving us and defeating the sludge villain, putting an end to that damn bastard fucker for once and for all, proving that he is the number one hero as always. The same kind of strength, the same kind of abilities, the same kind of recognition I want, I thirst for, I hunger for, and I will fucking get it. Even when I was being praised by those damn extras who didn't even do a damn thing, and that damn Deku being scolded because he knew he was basically useless after all. As the reporters basically wanting to get something from All Might, want to get an interview from All Might, then soon somebody in the crowd gritting their teeth with that hood under them, as you could tell by that of their facial structure, at least their lower facial structure, that they may be female, as she couldn't help but grit her teeth, saying, "Damn you, All Might, damn you. How could you do that to my Soma? After everything he's been trying to." Within, soon, seeing the girl's eyes as they began to glow that of a bright white, as the pros were about to let both Izuku and Bakugo leave, with All Might was about to run off, while leaving that with the sludge villain, now stuck in another bottle once again, to that of the pros being Mount Lady, Death Arms, Kamui Woods, and Backdraft, with a few other minor pros around too. Within, soon, she dashes in through the crowd as she screams, "Damn you, All Might! Why do you always get into the struggling people's way all the damn time?" Within, soon, a bright light begins to swirl around in the palms of her hands, before then sending them flying towards All Might. Within, everything almost looks like it's moving in slow motion, with All Might basically trying to pushing all of the reporters away as soon as he could. However, before the blast could even hit him, somebody rushes in, screaming, "Watch out, All Might!" As it being Izuku. As just like before, his legs basically moved on their own without him even thinking, as all he did was just see his idol, All Might, the same man that basically crushed his dreams just a little while ago, was in danger, and yet he didn't care. He didn't care about the same man he idolized, destroying his dreams, destroying everything that he wanted to build, with the same words that everybody else has said, even his own mother. All he cared about was protecting him and anybody else that got in the way. As then soon, hit by the blast, as then a giant wormhole begins to appear, as then Izuku saying, "Whoa, what's going on?" As then he begins getting sucked in, screaming. Then soon the woman saw this, saying, "Damn it, no, that was my one shot." Then soon a few of the pros, being Kamui Woods and that of Backdraft, basically restrained the woman. Within soon, All Might saying, "The young man from before," with even Bakugo completely caught off guard, saying, Deku! Within soon, Kamui Woods saying, "What have you done? Where did you take that young man?" Saying, "Damn it, why? So not just All Might, but even that damn brat got in his way too. Got in my way." Then the woman begins to cry, removing that of her hood, as she having that of pale white hair, so pale that it almost looks like snow itself, with All Might still completely in shock before seeing the young woman saying, "What have you done, villain?" Saying, "There, see, you're calling me a villain? Even though you basically trapping out of a man, all that he wanted was just to have money to support his family." With then, soon, All Might caught off guard for a bit, while still having that of the same intimidating smile. However, his eyes are screaming in that of rage, seeing that Izuku is gone. Death Arms stomping over to the woman, saying, "Where did you send that kid to? Bring him back," saying, "I don't know. I don't know where I send him to. Who knows? Kid could be dead for all I care." With then, hearing that, everybody's within Kumi would saying, "You psychotic woman. Don't you care?" Saying, "Why do I care? You bastards took away the one person that actually gave a damn about me. All because he just stole chump change from a cash register? From that of a supermarket? What's wrong with that? All you people, all you heroes, all you damn civilians, all you fucking bystanders and hypocrites. You'll help the ignorant masses who basically need nothing, but when those who actually beg and cry for help, you basically do nothing and sit by while all those suffer. While those with heteromorphic quirks are always treated like shit. We're always discriminated, and those who can't even control their quirks because no one bothers to help them always are treated like crap as well. Every last one of you, even you, All Might, are nothing but damn hypocrites. There's no such thing as heroes in this damn forsaken world." As the woman goes on her rant and basically screams from the top of her lungs, tears basically go down her eyes. Within, all of the pros, the civilians, and even the reporters were completely caught off guard. Within, even so, the pros continue to take her and the sledge villain, otherwise known as Soma, as the woman liked to say, away to the police. With then soon, Bakugo still completely caught off guard saying, "Deku is gone. Deku is gone. He's really gone." With then, part of him thinking, "This is everything I wanted. I wanted the bastard to disappear, to stop getting in my way, to stop always getting in my damn way. And yet, why? Why the hell do I feel sad? Why the hell do I feel empty?" With then, Bakugo going through that of his own crisis, while even All Might thinking the same, saying, "That young man, without even thinking, just like I saw before, he stepped in without even thinking and tried to save me. He protected me without even knowing what would happen. The young man truly was a hero among heroes." With then, feeling completely and utterly like he has failed as the symbol of peace. The old him would have been able to dodge that without even breaking a sweat, but because of his injury, but because he kept on overusing his quirk, because he was unable to think rationally and able to react quickly, that young man, the young man that he most definitely would have saw as his successor, is now gone. After that day, even though Izuku may have been gone, however, his notebook, his bag, the yellow bag he always had on, was still there, showing that of his. Even though he had his phone and his wallet on him, however, all of his other things, being his school textbooks, his hero notebooks, and even that of spare school supplies, alongside that of even that of a spare wallet too, was all still inside, as it's showing that his ID being Izuku Midoriya, even showing that of his address as well inside of the bag. Within, telling that of Inko Midoriya, his mother, a plump green-haired young middle-aged woman whose hairstyle is in that of a ponytail, completely caught off guard, wondering where is her baby, seeing the pros there as they give her son's bag. Within, crying, wondering what has happened to her baby, what has happened to her son. with that of the pros being Kamui Woods, Mount Lady, and Death Arm, telling Inko about what has happened to her son. Within hearing that, she basically cries tears of sadness, tears that basically completely and utterly of that of a mourning mother losing her son, her pride and joy. With that, everything kind of went downhill for Inko Midoriya, even having to tell that of her husband that their son was gone, who was overseas. But Hasashi Midoriya, the man, felt saddened about losing his son, but part of him didn't really felt that close to his own son. To him, Izuku was basically a quirkless child of his that he basically had to pay child support for, and that he was just mainly He loved Inko, but he didn't care anything about his son since he didn't have a quirk. If anything, he was more saddened that Inko was saddened. He didn't really care that Izuku was gone or dead at all. As for the Bakugos, being that of Bakugo's mother and father, Mitsuki and Masaru Bakugo, Mitsuki has been close friends with Inko since that of their high school years. So she always did see Izuku almost like that of a nephew to her. Masaru also cared deeply about Izuku too, even though he's barely been around their house after all these years. They couldn't help but cry as well, losing him. As for Bakugo, he was basically mindless, wondering what the hell is wrong with him. That part of him was basically glad and happy that Izuku was gone, but the other part, confused, saddened, and basically depressed, knowing that Izuku is gone. As these parts of him continue to rage, trying to take over, which making Bakugo even more angry. At Aldera Junior High, when the teachers found out about this and told that of Izuku's classmates and Bakugo's, many of the student body didn't even care that much after all. Many of them basically just, didn't even bother caring. Hell, even the teacher didn't even say, as he just said that Izuku was basically is considered dead, hit by that of a villain's, transportation quirk after all. As one of Bakugo's lackeys basically saying, hey, Bakugo, ain't that good and all? I mean, since that damn quirkless loser is gone, guessing that the school's reputation be a lot more better now. Within soon, Bakugo, having that of a look of pure utter anger, saying, fuck off, you piece of shit. Nobody gives a shit about this damn ass school's reputation, so screw off. As his lackey was completely and utterly caught off guard, with even a few students as well. Even the teacher saying, Bakugo, what is... Get to the damn lesson, you worthless teacher, now! As their teacher basically flinches a bit, with the instinct of, yes, we should, with that. Their teacher, alongside many of the students, just saying that Bakugo's just mainly angry because of the incident that happened, because of being trapped by a sludge villain, and being saved by All Might, of course, which has wounded his pride, which, yes, that is true, but again, Bakugo internally and mentally is confused as hell. He just doesn't know what the hell is going on with him, since Izuku is now gone. However, it wasn't just Bakugo who was affected by this as well. It was also that of a certain female pro that was there, that being that of Mount Lady, or her real name, Yu Takayama, a beautiful, buxom young lady who debuted on the same day that Izuku disappeared. Back at first, Yu basically was kind of annoyed and pissed at the fact that her debut was basically screwed over by not being able to help out and, take out the sludge villain. Especially not even being able to save Izuku, using her quirk, of course, which hoping didn't hit her popularity, but over the time, she began to think maybe she shouldn't be thinking like that. I mean, a kid just died trying to protect All Might of all people. First, she thought that Izuku was literally stupid for not just running in to try and save that kid from before with the sludge villain, but she also thought he was doubly stupid for getting hit by that attack. But then when she found out, after taking in that of the female villain, her quirk is called Wormhole. It's basically a quirk that transports matter from one place to another. However, it's not anywhere else in the world. She can't really sense on what she sends that other place, to be honest. Heck, it could even end up in that of freaking space, she explains to the pros and to the cops. With that, many of the pros can help but feel somewhat down, realizing that the kid actually ended up saving All Might. He ended up protecting the symbol of peace. He ended up keeping the symbol of peace safe, as nobody basically wanted to think what would happen if All Might was never around anymore. Nobody couldn't imagine if the number one hero, the very person that inspired an entire generation of heroes, was gone just like that. And yet, one kid was able to basically protect him. And what about her? A pro hero who basically worked her ass off day in and day out because she came from that of a poor family background, having to basically live in the countryside just so she can have a proper hero education, and plan to whore herself out to that of the media and to that of the public just so she can become popular to gain enough money to get her own agency in the coming of months. She didn't want to do anything with that of becoming a sidekick. She hates having to work under other people. She wanted to be strong and independent and work for her own strength, even if it meant being a corporate sellout. And now this is what happened when she basically tried to have that mindset. Innocent kid basically is gone. She couldn't do anything about it, which ended up affecting that of her, pro hero career, to be honest. However, this was both that of a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. At first, when she first debuted, she basically gave herself as that of a more sexier heroine. And not only that, she's okay using her sex appeal and her body to get what she wants. However, it became more of a second notion for her. Now she just wanted to be a hero that actually wants to help those in need. To actually want to make sure that another situation like before with that of Izuku never happens again. Hell, since then, when she even went to see Izuku's mother and saw her basically break down, it basically showed the extent that a hero has to go through to make sure that a mother like Inko Midoriya doesn't go through something like that ever again. Hell, because of her guilt, she actually decided to, mainly stay in Masafu even more, as she planned on creating that of an agency in Tokyo just so she can get more popularity in cases, but mainly so she can, look after Inko Midoriya. At first, it was mainly just to satisfy her own consciousness. Hell, even Inko realized that she was just doing this for herself and out of pity as well. But over the past couple of months, Inko began to, become a lot more open towards Yu. Hell, even Mitsuki actually got to know Yu a lot more. Hell, part of her actually wanted to think that that they were distant relatives, given that Mitsuki barely even knew her own family tree, to be honest, given how much that they kinda look alike and somewhat possibly act alike, which made the three women pretty close. As for, another person that was deeply affected by that of Izuku's sacrifice was also All Might. Ever since then, he's basically made sure to he made sure to get that of his teaching license, working hard for it so he can find his successor at UA. He had that of a special phone call from that of a certain hero that he didn't want to talk to, at least not yet, that being his second former sidekick, Sir Night-Eye, or Mirai Sasaki, currently studying for that of his teaching license. With that, seeing that of the tall, lanky, gray-suited, green comb-over and glasses-wearing pro, within saying, "What do you want, Night-Eye?" Within saying, "You've been working quite hard for this license of yours. You wouldn't have to go through this too much. Just so I told you about the person who I believe is a perfect candidate for you. He's currently a second year," saying, And I told you this before, Mirai. I will find my own candidate, my own successor. Within saying, and I, Toshi, within sitting right in front of his idol and former boss, saying, "You need to listen." Within soon, Toshinori, aka All Might, basically slams his notes onto the table, looking straight in the eyes of his former sidekick and somewhat friend, saying, "Do you have any idea how it feels, Mirai, to be there, to just be there, seeing that of some young boy, a young boy who had the true heart and soul of a hero, even though he was quirkless, he still stepped in to try and save me. And you read the reports of that woman's quirk. You know what happens when anything that she sucks into that of her quirk is hit by her quirk." Within, soon taking a deep breath and sighing, saying, "I do. I read the reports. Her name is Yoko Sotokame. She originally comes from that of Hokkaido, actually. When her quirk awakened, she ended up basically sucking in both her parents, and it ended up sending them into to somewhere else. She was scared, cried, and basically ran away. Every time when she tried using her quirk on something, she could never understood on where it goes. All she can do is that she knows that she's sending it to somewhere else that she just doesn't know where it's going. Basically, it could just say that the objects never come back and the people never come back, which make them considered dead. Since then, she's been on the run trying to survive by doing that of petty crimes and stealing. The only time when she uses her quirk is when she's truly backed behind a corner. Turns out she's used her quirk on that of 10 pros through that of her life on the run as a former runaway. She'll be scorned for the rest of her life. Within sued All Might saying, "And that's the problem. I saw the only person that basically gave her a place where she can belong was that very sludge villain I stopped from just a simple robbery. Part of me realized that maybe, just maybe, I could have relied on the pros. I should have relied on my fellow pros who were in the area could have stopped it. But then I basically on my way to UA, I just couldn't just sit back and do nothing. I couldn't just sit back and just watch as a villain just roamed around freely. So I had to step in. I just had to. If I didn't, then who would?" And then, when I met that boy, the same boy that I saved twice, Izuku Midoriya. You want to know something, Mirai? The boy was quirkless. He was quirkless, just like I was when my master met me. He wanted to know if somebody like him, somebody that didn't have a quirk, could still become a hero. When I told him that, when he found out about my time limit, when he found out about my weakness, my scars, he was broken. I could look into his eyes, say that everything that I said basically shattered everything. I even told him that it was impossible to be a hero without a quirk. I realized those words were hypocritical of me. Absolutely hypocritical. That was after when I saw him again. Saw a quirkless boy run into into a fiery alleyway, trying to save one of his fellow classmates. Possibly a friend of his is what I've heard as well. Try to save him with everything he can, with all of his might. And then when I stepped in, I realized I was a hypocrite. I truly was. All this time, this boy had truly the heart of a hero, the mind and soul and passion of a hero. I could tell that the boy was moving without even realizing that he was. He had everything that I saw in a hero, the very ideas that I saw within a hero. And I knew he could become, and I knew I found my successor. And then that same boy gave his life to save me. A man that was already on borrowed time, The same man who knew that his quirk was failing him and had to find a successor sooner than later. And then that very boy who I wanted to entrust the future with is now gone. Do you have any idea how frustrating that is, Mirai? How much I was right there. And then when I heard that woman's rant, and now that I know her origin, his story, I realized that I am no symbol of peace. Then soon, Mirai saying, Toshi, no, it's true. I am no symbol of peace. A woman like her with an amazing quirk like that, if she had the training, if she was given the time, if people actually bothered trying to help her, even if I founded her, I wouldn't have been driven more into crime to survive. She would have found a way to control her quirk properly. She could have probably found her parents as well and used it for good as well. And yet now she's in Tartarus. A woman with an amazing quirk like that, now in Tartarus, after being on the streets, on the run for so long. And the worst part is, she was right. I am no hero, no true hero. I'm aware that I can't save everybody, that I can't protect everybody. But when I was just there, when I was just a few steps away, I couldn't even save one boy who basically gave his life to save me. So that's why I'm working my butt off to gain my proper teacher's license. And then after that, I plan on going to UA and finding my proper successor. So, Mirai, as much as I appreciate you for your help to try and find a candidate for me, I want you to stay out of this. This is my problem and my problem alone, and I need to handle this. The chances of me fighting somebody that was close to that of young Midoriya, as he looks through his teaching notes once again, saying, is most likely never going to happen ever again. But then hearing the words from that of his idol and friend, Mirai couldn't help but feel somewhat down, somewhat realizing that this was truly eating away at his idol, at the man that he admired so much, the man that he saw as the true pillar of hero society, as truly suffering. But then saying, I won't change your mind, man, but at least keep an open mind out if you can't find anyone perfect. You get to know, you'll be working as that of a teaching assistant while working to get your teaching license once the summer ends, right? If you ever get a chance to teach that at the second years, get to know Mirio. He is truly a great candidate. I'm not trying to push him onto you. At least get to know him while you can. After that, the future seeing quirk user stands up from the chair and then leaves the room as well, within wanting to look back, but doesn't, closes the door, as leaving All Might in his office all by himself. Currently now, with summer vacation now on the rise, as many schools began to let their students out for at least for a good month. Some people are happy, some people are excited, and some couldn't help but dread it. However, for Bakugo, on the other hand, his confusion is still bridled. Ever since Izuku's disappearance, everybody at Aldera fears him from snapping. Hell, he's nearly put multiple students in that of the infirmary for just pissing him off or looking at him funny. Because of this, people that used to admire him from just his quirk alone now kind of fear him. However, as for the school itself, from the teachers to even that of the principal, they saw him as their meal ticket for getting more and more fame and notoriety to their school after all. But now they just want to get rid of him as soon as possible to make him a hero, realizing that he was even more problematic than they thought. And possibly boosting his ego all this time has just caused more and more problems for them. This shows on just how late and stupid they are after all. However, Bakugo won't be idle during the summer, and she's going to train himself over and over and over again to get stronger, to make sure that nothing like the sludge villain incident ever happens at all. that he doesn't need anybody to save him, that he doesn't need anybody to protect him, that he doesn't need anybody to sacrifice themselves for him. Because as the time went on, besides the form of, well, guilt, sadness, and joy of losing Izuku, there's also the guilt of having Izuku sacrifice himself for All Might. The guilt, if he never got caught by the sludge villain, Izuku would have never ran in, All Might would have never saved him, and that female villain would have never would have attacked All Might, and Izuku wouldn't have sacrificed himself to save him. Because of this, it drove him to become even more devoted to his quirk. More muscle training, hell, even taking up Izuku's little note-taking and analyzation skills for himself to improve his quirk better. Realizing that he may have hated the nerd and still does to this day, but he won't say that he didn't have any good idea. He won't lie that he did have good ideas when it came to improving, after all. On the outskirts of the city of Masafu lies that of a pretty ruined and destroyed beach full with nothing but junk and trash all over the place. However, lies that of one young woman, a woman that looks like at least in middle school and possibly going into high school, as she having that of pink dreadlocks, a black tank top that snugs pretty damn tight around her, especially around her chest, and wearing that of overalls that are wrapped around her waist as she's going through the junk within seeing that of her yellow eyes, which are crosshairs actually, almost like that of a sniper scope. As she pulls out several junks, however, she tears them apart while bringing out certain pieces out of them, saying, this is perfect. This is exactly the piece I needed for my precious baby. Soon putting it into that of a small box, saying, I think that's enough for today. I still got plenty of more stuff too. Soon, something begins to erupt from that of a large hole in the sky. Soon, wondering what's going on as she runs away, thinking that it's a villain. Soon, coming through the hole, being that of a boy that looks like at least in middle school, with that of messy hair on the top. However, his hair is on the sides of his hair though looks shaven, even the back as well, within him falling into that of the garbage. Before then, a certain something also falls out of the wormhole too. It looks small and brown. The little entity falls on one of the garbage piles. However, instead of landing on its back or hurting itself, it lands on that of its paws, surprisingly, and basically hops down from one ledge of the garbage pile to another and another and another, before landing on the ground right next to the boy. Soon, the young girl, otherwise known as Mei Hatsune, uses her quirk to zoom in on that of the unconscious boy and the small creature. Soon, the little creature couldn't help but scream, couldn't help but say, Evie, 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 Evie! Hearing the creature's voice, getting a better look at the boy as being a figure that we all know all too well. Saying, Fu, I'm fine. With it groaning in pain. Before then, soon something popping out of that of a sweatshirt sleeve, as it's rectangle in shape, with that of lightning bolts on that of the top end and on the bottom end. Was it having that of a green coloration with that of a small spherical object in the center, and also having that of multiple, sharp-like edges coming out of the spear, being red and white. Within, the square-like spear spoke and saying, Izuku, you are all right? You see, within saying, I should be asking you that, RP. If anything, are the others saying, do not worry, every last one of your companions and partners are are still wrapped up and safe in that of the subspace PC, saying, "Oh, thank God." So, wait, what then? Soon, checking around that of his belt, bringing up that of his sweatshirt, within seeing that of small spear objects with multicolored balls on them, within saying, "Oh, thank God, they're here too. I'm glad." Within, the small creature, the small brown fur-like creature, couldn't help but jump around, screaming, "Evie, Evie!" saying, "Right, Fu, right. We're all fine." Within, going to that of one knee, as the small-like creature getting on that of his shoulder, within, basically scratching his ears and his hair, alongside that of his fur coat too. Within, soon, Izuku noticing, "It looks like we're not alone." Within, however, surprised that he can actually see her, as she couldn't help but squeak a little bit. And out of shock and surprise, within, RP going back into that of Izuku's pocket. Within, soon, heading to the girl as she gets frantically freaking out, saying, "Please, I'm not causing any trouble. Are you a villain? I just wanna..." Within saying, chill. Within saying, "Wait, did you just say villain?" With Sue saying, yeah. I thought that you falling out of the sky were a villain. Wait, where am I and what year and month and day it is?" Within, blinking multiple times, saying, "It's the year 2275 in July the 1st, basically the first day of summer." With then soon saying, "Wait, and you're in Masafu, basically Dagobah Beach, if I recall, and basically my personal haven." With soon Izuku shutting her up, within having that of a hand in her face, saying, "Quiet down for a bit." Within saying, "RP, check out the map. Can you connect?" Saying, "Unfortunately, Izuku, I cannot connect to that of the multiple Poke satellites in the area. We're not in Paldea anymore." Within, blinking multiple times, saying, "You're serious?" Saying, "Yes, I am serious. We are not." And within, soon, thinking that of a few times, saying, "And I'm in Masafu, Dagobah Beach." Within, looking at Mei, looking closer at her, especially her eyes. Within, soon, Mei noticing it, as Izuku gets straight into her face, within saying, hey, what are you?" As she begins to blush quite a bit. Within saying, "Your eyes, they look like crosshairs in a sniper scope. Is that your quirk by any chance?" Saying, yeah, it is." Saying, "So I really am back." Snapping back, and out of pure utter shock and disbelief, saying, "After all these years, I'm actually back. Not only that, I didn't come back alone." Within, noticing that of his small creature, within, as he couldn't help but have that of a look of cheer and happiness, as it nuzzles Izuku's face, saying, "Fua, you're here with me, back in my original home, my original world. All this time, I never really thought that I would ever come back." With that, soon, Izuku saying, "I'm finally back home, and I'm no longer alone." With that, Izuku couldn't help but have that of a smile of absolute joy and absolute determination in his eyes as well, knowing that the world of MHA has a new hero, and this hero is not alone. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Love to read them. So, how did you guys like it? This, like I said, this is mainly that of the, prologue chapter. After months of Izuku basically being gone, things would basically affect quite a bit, with All Might feeling guilty for Izuku being taken, basically transported away. Bakugo basically confused as hell, wondering what the hell what is wrong with him, which is basically, affecting everybody else around him, to the point that the admiration and intimidation that he basically had on everybody at Aldera is now pure and utter fear. because of his quirk, and also Mount Lady changed quite a bit too. Why did I put a lot of emphasis on Mount Lady? Well, it's simple, really. She's basically the main girl of this story. Don't worry, Izuku will have a small harem, especially of Pokegirls too. That will only happen in due time. And if you guys saw my community tab on the Pokemon from that, I basically post Izuku's teams from each region. Yes, he basically doesn't have a lot of Pokemon. They're basically ranging from that of a Pokemon of 6 all the way to 8. Izuku didn't want to change too much of his Pokemon teams, to be honest. Think of it like how Ash started wanting to catch a lot of Pokemon at first, but over the time, when he began developing more of his battle style and training this Pokemon, that he only got a smaller team. His team's gotten smaller and smaller as time went on. Think of it like that. But each of his teams from all of the regions that he's basically traveled from are also transported with him. So look forward to those. Also, giving you guys a hint now, yes, Izuku has legendary Pokemon and mythical Pokemon, alongside that of paradox Pokemon too. But he doesn't have a lot of mythical Pokemon and legendaries, because I'm not trying, as much as I like Izuku to have an OP teams, and given how powerful Pokemon are his legendaries only come out when necessary. So yeah, at any rate, with all that said, hope you guys enjoyed this. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification to keep to date my videos on upload to the channel. Also, please check out my Discord, my gaming channel, my main channel, my other channel, my Patreon, and Cash App. All in the description below if I'm not too lazy to do so. So, with all that said, this is Leon Mookie, signing out. Later, guys, and hope you all take care.